Oh my gosh, everything's disaligned.
Ah.
The internet professional police are gonna sue us. I think I got it. Well, Silver, once again, explain yourself.
Or what I do this time?
I know, it seemed like you were going to be late.
You didn't show up on time.
And then you were like, last minute.
Oh. Oh no, just my computer sucks. And it was loading disk.
No.
It was great.
Ross speculated about just doing it here because you guys are close and then forcing Jason to be the outlier. But it would be just figuring like, out.
Everybody comes over to your house and then I'm over here.
Yeah. I mean, you could come over. I mean, the reason why we haven't jumped at it yet is it would be stupidly complicated to figure out all of the cables.
Right.
And I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid of figuring that out. I mean, there is room. I pretty much have the basement to myself because no one wants to brave the freeze. And by freeze, I mean it gets very cold down here.
My air conditioner went out, right?
Uh-huh.
And we had a technician come, and he was basically he was going to give us a quote on fixing. Well, it's not fixing, replacing the air conditioning, and he needed to come down and see where the furnace is, because basically the furnace and the AC all use the same vents and everything.
Yeah.
And so he's looking around and he's like, we were down in the basement and he's like, your AC doesn't work and it's this cold down here? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So down in the basement, it's always been really nice.
Well, it's weird in the house that we have is there. So there was an addition built onto it, and that addition wasn't a part of the previous heating and air conditioning system. So what happened was,
does it have its own?
Well, right. So the upstairs and downstairs of the old part of the house is one air conditioning and heating, and the upstairs and downstairs of the new part of the house is a whole separate air conditioning and heating. So when they turn on the air conditioning in the old part of the house upstairs, where my mother and my sister and stuff are at, it's nice up there, and it is freezing. Like I'm middle of the day in the middle of the summer, and I'm sitting there watching TV with a blanket. and I am normally not affected by the cold. Like I'm never a blanket person, and I'm like, oh, it's chilly down here. We have strategically battled the freeze by buying magnets and putting them over all of the vents, just to prevent any cool leakage. And I think I will survive. It seems better. It did get a bit chilly for a time, but it's much better. Fortunately enough for me. It is. Ross isn't here. He is participating in a protest.
Okay.
He's not.
I see.
They're doing the Red Bull like little
they're doing
car races.
The soapbox races.
Yeah. Yeah, he went to that and he was very worried he was going to run into the protesters and it was going to really piss him off. He's like, I sure hope I don't run into those people.
That would piss me off.
I was like, you're gonna. It's gonna ruin it for you.
Now I'm a little bit jealous. I was thinking about going to that.
Yeah, but he drove out, so we'll have to hear his report on watching cars. That, and it was supposed to be very hot when he went down there.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not looking forward to that either. So, it's exciting times for old Rossovin. Goodness, everybody. It's special. The world is collapsing on itself. We are either in a civil war or World War III. Pick one. And
Why not both?
Why not both at the same time?
Well,
civil
Armageddon,
War III.
Assume that there. Yeah, you would assume that there would be multiple things going on. So, end of the world. I'm voting for all of the above.
Can we get an alien invasion too? That'd be pretty sweet. Who's your favorite?
And
Yellowstone explodes. It's gonna be great.
Yellowstone explodes. Yeah. The mega volcano.
Yeah.
I'm good
for
that. The
fault line goes off.
I would kind of prefer like the Independence Day aliens instead of maybe like, I don't know.
Instead of the aliens?
Well, no one wants the aliens. Unless you crossbreed them. And then Sigourney Weaver is really good at basketball.
Yeah. Maybe we could get multiple aliens invading and they'll just fight it out amongst themselves and we can sit back and watch.
Just the mass murder in orbit.
Yeah.
The greatest show ever told. No, yeah, it's a special time out there, everybody. And I know everybody, look, quintessentially, we're not here to talk about politics. My only message to you is it's hard to get involved if you're not over there. So don't get in the middle. There's a stupid story coming up where someone important got hit by a stray round or something from the police. And I was like, well, it's your fault because you were standing in front of them.
Yeah.
Be safe. I would speculate that I don't think protests really cause any, really do any good. They only serve to rile up your base. And the only reason why I'm saying that is every protest I've ever seen just makes me angry. Even if I might agree with it, I'm just like, I don't like it. So stay out of it.
I can't say that I've ever seen a protest and gone, you know what, I'm on your side now. Most of the time it
was persuasive.
Every time I've seen a protest, most of the time the protests that I've seen have been disruptive instead of like persuasive.
I agree.
For me, it's much more you sit down and you explain to me this is why this needs to be changed, and you give me concrete reasons. You give me support for your position. If you're just sitting there chanting, down with this, that doesn't tell me how you're planning on fixing the problem. It just tells me that you think X is a problem.
Well, and most
What if I
arguments
don't think
tend
X is a
to
problem? You're just ignoring me.
most arguments tend to be hyperbolic too. And on top of that,
Yes,
most
they do.
people base their arguments based upon a moral, ethical structure that other people may not share. So oftentimes they'll get out there and be like, well, X. And it's like, first of all, 20 steps before you got there, I didn't agree with your premise before we even got to the point
Exactly.
where you're like, hey, X everybody. And it's like, I'm not even at X at the moment. Like this is even an issue in my direction. And so when they try and go, this is really big deal. And you just sort of go, I mean, I believe you care it's a big deal. I believe in that. Whether or not it actually crosses my doorstep is a whole nother thing. Oh, goodness. Well, I'm just saying, be safe, whether you're here or in the Middle East or being shot in the face with a riot gun. Unless you're Chance, jump in front of the riot. Oh, look, it's Chance. I didn't mean that.
No, Chance.
DGP is not for me. Hey ho, Rhett must go. Well, see, riots and protests don't work. We already went over this. Besides, I am the tyrant of this podcast. My iron will.
I was part of a protest not that long ago where I just stood in front of some Capitol building and chanted down with Rhett, and people joined me.
Well, and they didn't even know who it was. They're like, yeah, I don't like that guy.
Yeah.
But
I got people on my side. Chance might have been there.
Chance might have been there. You know, what'd be funny is we end up getting a lot of engagement, but it's just like negative podcast engagement.
People show up to hate.
Oh, lovely.
I can see that.
I mean, I'll know we made it when there is a protest at my local Capitol building trying to remove me from
over
the
us.
internet. Yeah. Remember when a bunch of Christian fundamentalists protested dogma and Kevin Smith showed up at the protest and made his own signs and joined it? And the news reporter saw him there and they're like, aren't you? And they were like really suspicious. And so they went and interviewed him. And the news, and afterwards they're like, a protester that looks suspiciously like Kevin Smith said that the Dogma movie is the work of Satan and should be banned from theaters. That's what we should do. It's a good time.
Did you ever see the so Monty Python, they did The Life of Brian, right?
Right.
Did you see the interview that the Pythons did with like it possible, I forget who it was. They got pulled onto a show to do an interview just after they'd released The Life of Brian, and there was some high-ranking bishop from either the Catholic Church or the Church of England, I forget which one, and it was them discussing the movie. It was pretty fascinating to just listen to them, and the funny thing was that the Pythons were like, no, this isn't about religion, and this is just us being funny.
I had I had a t-shirt that I used to wear all the time where it was like, obey the municipality. It was actually from a Homestar Runner like t-shirt. It had the King of Town on it or whatever. It was meant to be tongue in cheek, like obey the municipality. And I was on campus and I go to a philosophy class. And the philosophy teacher looks at my shirt and he's like, are you trying to state something? And I'm like, no. I'm not trying to say anything at all. It's supposed to be funny. It like the most oppressive, like tyranny is my local city council and mayor is essentially what I'm implying in a small town.
Or that time you wore your your Pistols for Pandas shirt, and the guy at the on-campus coffee shop was like, I was just about to deny you service. Dude.
Yeah, well, he didn't see my shirt until after I bought, I don't know if it was a bagel or something. And then he goes, well, if I'd have seen that, I wouldn't have served you. And I was like, first of all, you don't get that option. Like, you don't get to choose. You don't, like, all I do is need to get your manager and be like, oh, he's refusing to serve me. Second of all, the shirt was meant to be absurd. It was literally advocating not to shoot pandas, but to supply pandas with weaponry. There was literally a line on the shirt. There was literally a line on the shirt that said they need all the firepower they can get. but because he's so trained to immediately be offended by something, immediately be offended by something and then immediately decide that he's going to push back and be like, I'm not going to serve you. It's like, you don't get that choice. That's not up to you. And second of all, you're so delusional and willing to pick a fight over everything that you don't even read what's on the t-shirt. You don't understand what it's actually saying.
Right.
Campus people or college students are some of the dumbest people sometimes. Goodness. And Chance says, I can see Rhett being pay for an argument guy with the classic Python skit for the verbal abuse. I would do that.
Oh, that. Yes, he would.
I would do that.
I think you would do a better job. I think you'd do a better job of it than John Cleese does in the skit. I mean, the skit is what it is, and it is hilarious. But if it was actually a pay for argument type of thing,
I would actually propose an argument,
not just do the contradiction thing.
Well, I just like the John Cleese. You're right. It is basically a contradiction thing, but it's like, no, it isn't. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. And it's like, well, this is an argument. It's just, he's just contradicting him. Freaking heck.
Me.
And so by the way, I had this theory that the advent of James Gunn's Superman is ushering in the Civil War and World War III. That literally Superman is going to bring down
of doom.
Yeah, he's going to bring down mankind. And so by next month, we will all be dead. Or James Gunn will release a Superman, whichever seems more likely. And he's going to tear us apart. Hey, look, they just released a new trailer like a day or two ago. War with Iran. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Or if we wanted to be arbitrary, connected to Ironheart, or I don't know, something else.
Any of those, right?
Yeah. Some other absurd reason to blame something for complex geopolitical events. I'm going with James Gunn. I mean, if I'm going to be honest. He is at fault for a lot of things. Speaking of, we have a trailer. Silver should open the first link to the Google document that we use because no one's prepared.
Oh, well, what's here?
Pay attention, woman.
Google.
We need to send you back to the kitchen. You're going to make a sandwich.
The patriarchy.
Don't send me back there. How'd
the phlebotomy go?
It scares me. Oh, right. I stabbed a guy.
Sweet.
This time I'm not kidding. I genuinely did.
I know.
Well,
yeah.
Guess who didn't get a hold of me to do stuff when she has nothing to do?
Hey, actually, this week was a lot busier than I thought it would be. But yes, I stabbed a guy. It was enjoyable, and I'll never get that first high back.
It's like heroin. I do it for the thrill. Well,
that was great.
Now you've gone down that dopamine hill where each new experience has to be more extreme. It's like it's got to be a bigger needle, or it's got to be more people like right next to each other, and suddenly
Yeah.
it's like a knife, and then who knows where it goes from there. You can get blood
Let's see.
easier.
Stabbed a guy, stabbed another girl, stabbed someone in the hand.
Oh.
There was so much blood drawn. It was great.
Chance says Silver will be forever chasing the dragon. I agree. And you never catch the dragon. And remember, according to South Park, you never catch the dragon. You just forever chase it. The what was it? The Guitar Hero episode where they got really good at Guitar Hero and got contracts to play Guitar Hero at concerts, and then one of them got dumped because he wasn't as good, so he started playing the Heroin Hero, where he got into heroin because he wasn't in the band anymore. Know your references. Yeah, it's really great, everybody. Movie's been crazy yet again. Still more stuff to move. It'll never end. I'm settled. I don't know about the rest of these jokers. My stuff is here because I got stuff done early and responsibly. Yeah, I watched some shows and did some things. I watched The Accountant too. It's okay. The first one's better. Yeah, that's most of it, Jason.
I've been itching to watch that.
I finished watching the first part of season 1 of Free Run.
It's really good.
And I watched. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I watched
because my taste is impeccable. Oh, Buddy Daddies is actually a funny anime.
I liked it. I liked
not
it
what it sounds like.
No. Well, if you remember this conversation
about it,
where I was like, it sounds like it's going to be a story about two gay dads, and it's super not a story about two gay dads.
Right. One of the things that I really did like about it was the fact that it just kind of ended. That it was a self-contained story.
Yeah, it's one season.
We got a good start, and we got I thought a really satisfying ending. I mean, obviously they could do something. They could do a second season now that she's a teenager and stuff. But I'm not sitting there going, "Oh, we need to have a second season."
Well, it's just the personal growth of the characters.
But I really did like it. I liked, yeah,
going from irresponsible bachelors, essentially single guys, to caring for another individual and changing their outlook, gaining values on different things. And, it's mostly just funny. But there is a serious element of the guys got to kill a bunch of people in order to keep raising this little girl.
Yeah. But yeah, I finished those. We got a new AC unit, a new furnace, a new water heater all installed this past week too. So that should be out of the way and fixed now. My wife did the thing that women do when they know that people are going to be coming over to the house. We had to clean the night before.
Oh my gosh.
And that's why I didn't get the text.
Oh my gosh, Jason.
Yeah.
Did you make your bed?
It's one of those cliche things, and it's so funny to me. The thing is what was that? I didn't hear what you said, Silver.
Oh, I said, did you make your bed for the furnace guy? Did you do it?
No. My wife.
Okay, not that far.
I was vacuuming. The thing is it's so funny to me because basically the furnace guys came into two rooms of the house: the furnace room and the kitchen, and that was about it. But we had to make sure that everything was cleaned and put away. And
I never understood that. One, they don't care. Two, they're not going into all of the rooms to see any of these things.
Yeah.
And three, it's like you're trying. Look, I understand you don't want it to be messy, but it's like you're trying to put up a facade of ultra cleanliness before the visit. And it's like, shouldn't you just either maintain that or
Right.
just be okay with the previous level?
I mean, the house wasn't bad. It was a little bit disorganized, but you know, it wasn't like we had filth everywhere lying in piles and we were hoarders and all that stuff. But it was definitely that cliche thing of we're having people coming over to the house. We must clean everything.
Oh, it's cliche. Silver, did you watch that movie?
No.
Oh my gosh. It's just one movie.
Yeah,
You've had
right.
it. You've had it for 2 weeks.
What movie
I don't
is
know.
are you trying to get her to watch?
I don't remember anymore. Hot
Oh,
Say Hot
yeah, okay.
Rod.
Yes. I can't. You know who's a better cousin? Your brother, who came over and helped me move something today.
I was shocked
And
to hear
you don't-
that. I was just like, "Oh, where'd you go?" He's like, "I was over. I was over there." I was like, "You didn't tell me."
Well, you know, when I ask Silver for help with stuff, she ignores me, and we're supposed to be friends.
No, we're not. Quit kidding yourself.
Ow.
I have an exciting thing to share. I
Oh.
don't know if you've heard of this. Coming to
Okay.
our local town.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, man, I should ask 3 grown men to go do this with me.
Oh, what's that?
An ice cream place opening up.
Is it the patriotic one?
Yes.
Yes.
Their website is amazing. Have you looked it up yet?
I haven't looked at the website. I drive by it and I eyeball
through the ice cream flavors.
And they're all like patriotic.
Yeah, so
like,
it's opening soon, but just for an example, the ice cream flavors are themed. So here's a couple straight off of their website of George Washington's indispensable flavor. James Madison's constitutional crunch.
Oh my god.
Thomas Jefferson's declaration of cookie dough. John Hancock's signature mint chocolate I really like this one. Patrick Henry's Give Me Chocolate or Give Me Death.
Oh, nice.
So there's a ton.
Nice.
And
I mean, I'm all down for that.
They freaking serve it to you in upside down Liberty Bells.
Oh, rock on.
Need a Liberty Bell full of ice cream.
I need that in my face right now.
They even have like miscellaneous things like an ice cream cake, which is literally the description underneath it. It's just Marie Antoinette going to let them eat cake.
Oh,
we even have the Marquis de Lafayette's French vanilla pastry. Oh, this is beautiful.
I'm into this. I'm into all of it.
We the people breakfast.
So where is this place?
It's on Main. It's irrelevant. We're in a town you've never heard of, in a galaxy you've never heard of. I'm on the moon in a
I'll
Winnebago.
Give you specific location details later. In a Winnebago.
Y'all could suck it.
Oh yeah, they also give you like colonial hot chocolate.
I mean, I'm all down for all of this. I'm there. Patriotism and ice cream, the ultimate combination.
I'm super excited.
Oh, goodness. Lots of stuff has been going on. Me and Ross reviewed every, like, E3 kind of thing, there's multiple hours that I have yet published because I'm busy. But I'm going to get it together as soon as possible for those of you who care to watch the trailers with bad commentary. Regardless, we have Superman. And I know all of you are extremely excited because there's new Superman content on its way. More Superman to see. So, assuming everybody's in this room, Silver,
Yes.
have
You're
you
not in the
opened
room.
Me?
the link?
I have the document open.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
bad.
I disown you.
It's open and ready.
No, it's not, because you're not in the room.
Oh, that room. Hold
Oh
on.
my, oh my gosh.
I was like, what the heck are you talking about? Don't
Well,
get
you
off
know,
that. Get-
we could have had this conversation
away.
if you'd have showed up earlier as opposed to 5 seconds before podcast start.
I was watching stuff with my dad. It's fine.
Uh-huh.
No, I don't make an account.
What
No
were you
way.
watching? More Clarkson's Farm?
Resident Alien. Another season came out.
Oh, hopefully it's better than the last season because the last season was super gay.
So far, it's better. We will see, though. Why does it keep kicking me out of this?
I don't know. Here, I'm gonna copy and I'm gonna send it to you. Hold your face. There. Enjoy that. As Silver figures things out and is incapable of doing so, Jason, free run's pretty
There
good.
we go.
Yeah, I like the fact that it's got that like comfortable feel, if you
Yes.
will, with the characters, and it's doing different things with the characterizations, but it's still intermixed with action sequences that are really well done.
Well, I mean, what I find so charming is one, it's not an isekai, which is super important to me. Number two, I mean, it's a basic fantasy. It's just fantasy.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all.
Nothing wrong with good isekai, right?
It's just good fantasy. The other thing is, it's an interesting study on who Frieren is as this person who's lived like 1,000 years, where she has trouble connecting with people. And it wasn't until after the deaths of people she was close to that she finally realized what she missed. And so a lot of the story is her sort of emotionally and psychologically retreading through feelings she had that she didn't realize she had until it was too late.
Right.
Which is really interesting for a story to reflect.
That was most. I think that was most evident in the one where she loses that ring.
Uh-huh.
So there's this ring she was going to give to her apprentice that had the mirrored lotuses on it, because it was similar to one that that Stark had given to Fern. And it wasn't until Fern was pointing out that in the language of flowers, it meant like eternal love or something like that. And she reflected back on the fact that the ring was given to her by the hero. And she had this revelation of his motives for giving it to her. And she ends up keeping it, not giving it to her apprentice.
There's a story where they went to the beach. I don't know if you've been there yet to see the sun come up, and there's a bunch of other stories. Like half of the each episode seems to be her reflecting on the past and what she had missed. It's a haunting story, and
Yeah.
Freerin is horrifyingly powerful.
Yeah,
I know.
that episode with Aura the guillotine, where they're
Oh
basically
yeah,
her
demon.
apprentice and Stark are, they're dealing with a couple of demons, and they're having a little bit of difficulty with them, and Freerin basically just walks away and casually tells the demon, it's like, kill yourself,
It
as she's
was it,
walking away.
it was that weird magical item that balances, and whoever's more powerful gets to tell the other one what to do. It's just Freerin has this whole I'm
Oh
hiding
yeah.
my true power level. So she can walk up to her and have the demon be confident with this weird attitude. And the animation of her cutting off her head is really well done because basically it slices through her hair first, and so it starts to fall before she cuts her own head off. It's really good. The show is actually much more accessible to a normie than one would think most anime is, because most anime is not very accessible.
Yeah, this one is very much more. I mean, obviously, there's plot and everything that goes on with it, but this seems to be much more of a character study type anime, as opposed to action or anything like that. So, it's very much more. It relies less on you being a fan of anime in general to get you pulled in.
Right. It's a good show. Hey, we're retreading conversations me and Silver had on this podcast because Jason just couldn't catch up with the rest of us. But, I'm just saying, get on top of these things. Hey, guess what? There's a new Superman trailer. He's destroying the world and coming to theaters next month. Let's reflect on this. I do have control over the audio, and at least what we'll hear, you could control your own audio. I don't care. And we'll start this out. So there's a lot of hope with this movie. A lot of people are speculating that if this has to do well for DC. By the way, DC and Discovery think
it does.
They're going to split now. All the Superman movie really needs is more him saving people. Just more of that. Just show him doing good. Show us, don't tell us that Superman's important. And, it's this. I'm really afraid this movie's going to suck. I want it to be good. Oh, and Jason paused it.
Yeah, that's my.
Oh, and now you're fast forwarding it, Jason.
I was trying to get.
What's that?
I was trying to get it to play correctly on my side. I think I've got it fixed now.
All right. And Lex Luthor, William Hurt. His name's not William Hurt. What's his name? War Boy from Fury Road. Beast from X-Men.
Holt.
Yeah.
Nicholas Holt.
Nicholas Holt. I was close. Hurt is the guy that played the Elephant Man. And also was in Hellboy. You're welcome.
Nicholas Holt. Yeah.
Who raised you as a child? I'll kill them too.
This trailer so far a lot better than the previous ones.
Yeah, definitely better than the last one.
Superman, no. That's not a good angle, by the way.
No dog?
No dog beating him up. Fortress of Solitude is fine. Superman fights a giant monster, which is fine.
Wrap it up.
What do you think of how do you think Luthor's playing out?
He seems much more comic accurate this time than in the Batman v Superman.
What, you don't want
It's kind of hard to
a
tell.
Mark Zuckerberg the villain forcing people to eat Jolly
No.
Ranchers? You think that's
No, I
weird?
don't. Oh, that's so that scene was so dumb.
Jesse Eisenberg.
I don't have a problem with Jesse Eisenberg in particular, but Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, no. I mean, at least right now, Gene Hackman is the one that I think of when I think of Lex Luthor from the movies, and I liked him.
Are you sure you're not
the
playing?
Christopher Reeves?
Are you sure you're not playing into the flaw that most people tend to have?
Possibly.
When
I
viewing a
can't-
character, you only view it through the lens of the one you saw when you were younger. That's always the standard you're going to have to hold everything up to.
That's entirely possible. I don't think that Gene Hackman was like the perfect Lex Luthor or anything. I think that if I were to decide on the most comic book accurate portrayal so far, I would have to go with the Justice League, the cartoon version of Lex Luthor. He seemed to exude more menace. But from what I've seen just now in this particular trailer, where Lex Luthor's walking through the Fortress of Solitude, he seems pretty menacing in that. If they keep going in that direction with the Lex Luthor, I think it will be a vast improvement. I can't say that will save this particular version of Superman, but he does seem to be much more comic accurate. Not that
Yeah, I mean, at his essence, Superman or Lex Luthor needs to be masculine in his own way and calculating.
Yes.
The biggest problem is Lex Luthor is like the guy that reached the top and is like, oh, he's wealthy and smart and strong and all these sorts of things. Then Superman shows up and it makes him feel pathetic. And for somebody who's a high achiever, to see somebody he'll never be able to achieve more than just angers him. Like at the core of Lex Luthor's character, he's jealous. He's jealous of Superman. There was a moment in one of the, I think it was one of the animated shows, but there was definitely a moment in the comics where Lex Luthor gets wrapped by the Whip of Truth from Wonder Woman. And it was something like, what do you want most? And Lex Luthor says to be Superman. Lex Luthor's very insecure about who he is in the comics. This is all he wants to do, is he hates Superman because he can't be Superman. And so if he can take down Superman, then he can still sort of stand on the pinnacle of manhood, or, you know.
Yeah. If he can take down the guy in first place, then that puts him in first place. It's like, I took you down.
It's not some weird theory about gods and men or whatever nonsense that Zack Snyder was probably trying to vomit onto the screen. And Superman needs that. He needs a counter, because Superman is like ultimate selfless and Lex Luthor is ultimately selfish. and those
Yes.
characteristics need to be played out. Lex Luthor is about himself. Superman's about other people. He's doing it for other people.
Yeah.
He doesn't care if people, because there's nothing he can get out of it. Like he's not saving people and then they're paying him, and he's not getting fame. He's hiding from it. I mean, these are old school values that used to be sort of emphasized by people like the good for good sake sort of thing. These are values that were put forth in the original comics in like the 38? The first one issued. He hides his identity on purpose. And a lot of people use the excuse of, oh, well, put his family in. He's so powerful. No one's in danger. You know who's in danger?
I mean, there
who
is-
get in the way of Superman.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you have that. That's always going to be an element of any superhero, no matter how powerful they are, that they hide their identity to protect the people who are close to them. Because, if you were somehow to be able to gain power over one of the people who is important to a superhero, then you gain power over the superhero. But like you said, that almost is irrelevant in the case of Superman.
Superman is so
you have
powerful
to
in
be
Red Sun.
So much more powerful than him.
Superman is so powerful in Red Sun, he single-handedly maintains a tyranny and forces no crime in the entire country or in the entire Soviet bloc, because he can hear it as it's happening around the world and intervene. That's how stupid Superman is.
Oh my gosh, Superman Santa.
He is Santa. He is Santa, but instead of presents, he gives you punches.
Yeah, he gives you pain.
He's my kind of Santa. The punching kind. But yes, I mean, the character's important.
You're sleeping.
He's going to laser
And
eye
the
you
thing
when
is
you're
that
away.
if you have a superhero that has no flaws, no weaknesses, then you have to do something that ends up being boring. And so you have to,
not if you don't
you
know
have
how
to-
to write it.
well, right. If I remember right, there was a lot of things about Superman in the early comics that made Superman boring, and some of it was the fact that nobody could do anything to him. So they ended up starting to do things like kryptonite and things like that then made the bad guys a threat to Superman, so that it was no longer boring. And like you said, you have to do things like one of the best overpowered superheroes to come out recently was Saitama from One Punch Man. But we got a lot of entertainment from the fact that like Saitama was directionally challenged sometimes and had to get help from another superhero who knew where he was going. He got a ride on Moomin Rider's bike for part of the way, and just different things like that amped up the danger aspect, and then Saitama is able to step in and clear things out. And so there were other things. That's not the only thing that they were doing to make One Punch Man very entertaining as far as that goes. But with Superman, they had to start introducing in the early days
Saitama's
the things that we
never
now recognize as his limitations.
Saitama's never in danger, ever.
No, he's not.
You're trying to. I suppose we can break this down into sort of a characters and stories need obstacles, antagonists, things to push against, and it doesn't have to be flaws. I mean, they've done that with Superman. It doesn't have to be other characters who were just as powerful. it can be story arcs and emotional obstacles and other things. My point is that they don't everybody looks at Superman and says, I can't do this, he's too powerful. And that defeats the entire purpose of who Superman is, and which has been always one of the struggles of people who write Superman. They don't understand Superman. Superman doesn't have to you don't have to power creep every new villain. This isn't an anime. Every new season of Bleach, he's like 10 times more powerful, to the point where it's like, what is he, a god at the end of it? Like, this is absurd. You can only level up so many times. You don't have to power creep every new villain. This isn't Dragon Ball Z. Superman is more nuanced than this. He has moral issues he deals with. He has questions about right and wrong, and he chooses good. Superman at his core is hopeful. He's at his core is self-sacrificing. You don't have to threaten Superman. You can threaten everybody else. And then put Superman in a position where he has to he can't save everybody, or he has to be everywhere at the same time. Or give him more than just, well, look, it's another big thing for Superman to punch. And it's like, that's boring to me. I don't need another bigger thing for Superman to punch. And honestly, it's not a threat to Superman. Practically anything he runs, like, that's why Brainiac's such a great villain, is his motivations are weird and different. That's why Lex Luthor's a great villain. If Superman were just a character who needs something to punch, Lex Luthor wouldn't work. Because Superman's not just going to break into LexCorp and punch him out.
Exactly. Because he just punched Lex Luthor and kill him.
Well, because it's not the right thing to... Lex Luthor, it's not even like punching a child. It's like punching like an ant's baby. Like that's how small Lex Luthor is to Superman. It's like beating just a nothingness. It's like stomping on an ant. And Superman's actually showing Lex that he respects his humanity as a living person by not tearing his head off. Because he could. It would mean nothing to Superman.
Because he could, yeah.
And that was always my problem with Dark Knight Returns. No, nothing he could do to stop it. That was always my problem with Dark Knight Returns, where Batman beats Superman. It's like, no, he doesn't. Superman lets Batman beat him. That's what happens in Dark Knight Returns. Superman is so powerful that he's holding back the whole time until Batman gets a sneaky thing in and knocks Superman down. And then Bruce is like, I want you to know that I beat you. And I was like, well, I mean, if Superman was taking this seriously, the first 5 seconds of this fight, he tears your head off. Like that's not a fight. This isn't a fight.
Yeah.
This is Superman holding back while Batman's being a douche. People don't understand Superman because they don't understand that core goodness in themselves, and they can't project it onto other people, that they don't have an ulterior motive, or Superman doesn't have things he wants. That's why Gunn took so long to understand. Superman's not that hard to understand. Why James Gunn struggled with Superman. Well, that's because you can't see that good in yourself, and you haven't seen it that good in others. That's why you can't understand him, because you're an a-hole. Superman's better than you, and he's a fictional character.
Well, not only that, but Batman v Superman didn't work on so many different levels. And one of the reasons that it didn't work was because Batman and Superman weren't friends.
Well, right.
That's
you don't
one of
have
the
that
major reasons why it didn't
complicated.
work.
You don't have that complicated relationship that exists in Dark Knight Returns, where they knew each other and were friends.
No. And the thing is that's what made it believable, because we knew that Superman didn't want to fight Bruce, because he viewed him as a friend. He's like, we are friends. I don't want to do this. Well, and so it was that I'm holding back. I'm reluctant to do this. And that's why Batman was able to do what he did to Superman.
Snyder's Batman versus Superman.
Because if Superman had no reason to hold back.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that was basically it. It was because Superman in Snyder's version, he had no reason to hold back against Bruce, none whatsoever. He should have just come in,
but he
stomped Bruce into the
does.
ground, and left.
But Superman does. He holds back because he doesn't want to kill him. The worst part about Zack Snyder's Batman versus Superman is instead of their friends and Batman is trying to make a point that you can't tell me what to do, I'm still the vigilante. He's basically insane. Like his mind has gone crazy because his parents died. And it's like, I know, that's why you're Batman.
Mhm.
Like the point of Batman is he's got a supreme amount of self-control over his mind and his body. And he's just like, I'm really upset right now. It's in The Dark Knight Returns. He has interesting motives for why they end up fighting because he wants to do stuff and Superman is forced to intercede. In Batman versus Superman, Superman doesn't want to kill him really, but he just want to punches him down until he stops like not doing what Superman tells him to. And then Bruce is just insane. He's a raving lunatic in that movie. I'm gonna kill him. He builds a spear to kill a god as if this is the Bible in some weird way.
But the thing is that that Bruce or Superman could have come into that fight, and it would have been over in seconds without him having to kill Bruce at all.
Yeah.
He could have ended it, but there was no reason for him to really do that.
Well, it's because Zack Snyder wants to see Superman and Batman fight and doesn't understand that Superman is leaps and bounds more powerful than Batman, as if there would be a back and forth. Are you kidding me? Basically, it was instead of this relationship and complex reasons with The Dark Knight Returns, it was Superman was bullying Batman and Batman was a mental patient.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That's why it's a problem. And once again, I'm afraid we're watching a trailer of a character that no one understands. I'm sorry it's difficult for you to understand goodness. I'm sorry you're such a piece of shit that you can't get that concept. Good Pete. Trailer. Oh, also, I don't care for this line. It's too jokey and stupid. I'm going to rewind it. Also, Superman punched his teeth out. Why?
Oh my gosh.
Did you see that? So
somebody was like, this will be hilarious.
Well, now I'm forced to ask a question of why did he hit him so hard to punch his... Like, Superman can control how hard he hits somebody. He didn't have to knock his teeth out. Is this necessary for a Superman movie where he's just bludgeoning thugs? Like, what are we watching here?
Well, come on. He's like, hey, look how close the camera is. It'd be really funny if the teeth bounced off of it. I should punch him.
Well, see, that's what's so stupid because this is a gun thing.
3D so that we can get the...
Well, yeah, but it's
a 3D effect with the teeth flying in our faces.
Superman in the old comics grabs a metal pole and wraps it around him and he can't get away. He doesn't punch the guy until his teeth fly out of his mouth. I'm going to hit you so hard you need serious reconstructive dental surgery. You notice
Imagine
how
the dentist just like, I can't get this wisdom tooth out. Superman, help!
You notice how all the teeth come out full? Like fully, and there's no blood?
Yeah,
They're not chunks of teeth, they're full
This
teeth.
man performed an extraction.
You know, I have actually seen someone get a tooth knocked out, and it wasn't that clean. It basically broke the tooth in half.
Well, yeah, because you're not going to punch him and it's going to pull teeth and root and everything all in one chunk. Like, that's not how that works. They break. So somehow Superman is so skilled that he can hit him exactly in one spot and remove the teeth from the hole it's in
Yeah,
his jaw.
that thing's got to be broken.
Once again, this
He's got a
doesn't
broken jaw,
feel
too.
like Superman. It's just unnecessarily violent. All right, splitting the earth, sweet. Big Blue's a good line. It makes sense in sort of a comic superhero context, and Rainer would say that.
Yeah.
Who the heck was that guy?
Metamorpho. This guy is Metamorpho. I don't know who the baby is.
Okay. Oh yeah, what the heck?
Did you not notice the baby? Look, there's a little
Oh,
green
yeah.
baby.
Zoomed in and was like, what the heck is that?
You think they're in orbit? You think this is the planet right here?
It looks like they're in space. Yeah.
So maybe he's protecting the little green baby and Metamorpho's going nuts.
Maybe.
Superman's, I got this baby. I'm going to protect the baby.
Just throw it like a football across the galaxy. Then he can't get it.
Well, I mean, the question then is, can the baby survive the throw? Not whether or not he could do it.
Listen,
mean-
it's possible for him to throw it. I want to see it happen.
No, you're just a psycho. It's like if somebody breaks into the house, I
am.
can use my cat as a weapon to defend myself. The cat probably wouldn't handle it very well. Oh, look, a spaceship. See, that's a good Superman thing. Picks up a thing and hits him with it.
Yeah.
I mean, saving people is what we need from a movie like this. Him saving people.
That's
Quit messing around. I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
Yeah, a little jokey for
that's so not a
Superman.
Superman line.
No, that's a James Gunn
Yeah.
line right there.
Yeah.
That tone was very not Superman.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Oh, of course it's IMAX. Superman. And, there's our big Superman trailer. Everybody get hyped. Superman trailer.
So there are parts of it are impressive. The visuals seem to be really well. The characterization is just not there. Lex Luthor seems to be a vast improvement on the previous version of Lex Luthor we got. But again, that's not going to carry the movie. Just because we got a better Lex Luthor, we got to,
New link at the bottom. Open the new link. Is everybody open on the new video? Hello?
Now I did see
Hello,
this one the
yes.
other day. I was hoping to get more information on the
Well, we're going to bring it up. We don't necessarily have to watch the whole thing, but everybody
the
can
show,
see it,
but-
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Great. So, a lot of silliness. Hey, everybody, remember Spaceballs.
We asked, what do the fans want? But instead, we're making this movie. May the Schwartz be with you.
Well, as long as he's still alive. Spaceballs has always been one of those movies that young men always thought was amazing and hilarious, and they would share it. Spaceball, it's funny.
Yeah.
Despite Mel Brooks making a bunch of movies, he was always confused that for some reason Spaceballs was his most popular, and by far of all of the Mel Brooks movies, Spaceballs is literally the most popular movie he made, and I think it's because of parody of one of the most popular movies ever made. I mean, George Lucas thought it was funny.
Yeah. I love the fact that basically it was like, yeah, you can do this parody movie, but no merchandising.
Um,
That was like George Lucas's one stipulation.
Apparently I didn't show that on screen, but there's nothing really to see. You did hear the audio. Regardless, how do you feel about it, Spaceballs? Here's my problem. I like Spaceballs. I don't trust any new sequel to come out. I saw History of the World Part
Exactly.
2. It's not good. It's not a good movie.
I'm scared.
my feelings on this is that one, it's too late. Like you said, this was almost 40 years ago that they made Spaceballs. And at this point, I think it's just too far removed for us to have a sequel. And yeah, I just, with the sequels, the quality of the sequels we've been getting recently, there's no confidence there from us. Obviously, from Mel Brooks' point of view, he seems to have a lot of confidence in what they're doing, but from the fan point of view, it's one of those things where this could ruin the legacy of the first Spaceballs movie.
Would it encourage you to know that Josh Gad is one of the writers?
Really?
No.
Oh, it's probably gonna suck.
I did know that he was one of the writers.
Yeah. Rick Moranis is coming
it's
back.
entirely possible that he's gonna. It is entirely possible that he could do something in the spirit of Spaceballs and honor the legacy and stuff. But like I said, I just have misgivings because of like I said, because of the quality of the stuff we've been getting. We did have a Top Gun Maverick that came out and things. So
that's an exception.
They can do something right. That's what I'm saying. They can do things right. I just don't see don't see them doing things right.
Well, in the spirit of the intro here, where he goes through the list of all of the sequels, and now it's time for us to do a sequel. We got 7 Jurassic Park movies, and how many? Look, I get it. Creating sequels has been the trend because they can't make 2 new IPs because either A, it's too risky, or B, they are creatively corrupt and incompetent. Yeah. Hollywood can't write anything. So they sequel already established IPs because they're already recognizable brand names in order to get people out to the theater. But the problem is they also don't understand the material they're writing for across the board. I can't tell you, I would venture to guess that 90% of those sequels listed were worse than the original. It's because the writers don't get it. They don't get it. They don't get the original source material. They don't know how to write. They're a bunch of prepubescent activist douchebags who don't understand what they're being given. I have no confidence in Hollywood to honor the original version of anything, to write a sequel to anything. It's like in the past, you might have gone, oh, they're making a new Indiana Jones movie. Anybody said that today, anyone says that today, which,
Yeah.
you know, we got one. Immediate, my reaction is going to be, oh, it's probably going to suck. And they're going to dishonor Indiana Jones. And ironically, he's going to travel back in time to save Adolf, because that's what happened in the movie. They don't understand these movies, and we can't rely on them to confidently bring a movie that respects the original and create something new. All of it has been trash. Well, I mean, it's like, well, what about this one? Okay, there are exceptions, but practically all of it has been garbage. Well, Mel Brooks is he's not part of the writers. He's a part of the film. He's probably executive producer. He's not one of the writers in the film. I have almost no confidence in this film, especially since Josh Gad is a political activist in Hollywood.
Yep.
Anyway, you were going to say, Jason.
Oh, I just said that that Mel Brooks may reprise his role as President Scrooge, but
well, in Yogurt,
if he's not in on the writing part of it, and Yogurt. If he's not in on the writing, if he doesn't have creative control, I don't know that this is going to go where we as fans would like it to go. As you said, because the person who seems to be main writer for it is a Hollywood activist. Every time the Hollywood activists get their grubby little mitts on any IP, instead of writing for entertainment, they write for activism. And that doesn't make a good movie.
Sweet. Well, look forward to that, everybody. Here's a trailer, well, a little clip that somebody got a hold of. I'm probably the only person that's going to care. But they're making an animal farm.
Another one?
Yeah.
A what?
Animal Farm by George Orwell.
George Orwell, yeah.
You have to remember, Silver
original
hasn't
cartoon.
had a good education.
I've seen the original cartoon. Super depressing. Let me tell you.
It's supposed to be.
Oh no, I get it. I know why. I know why it's supposed to be super depressing. But what I want to kind of point out is I don't because the material it comes from is super depressing. I don't see this going anywhere. I don't see this being popular. I don't see them really making a success of this particular movie. I don't know why they're even doing it.
It's a great story. It's a metaphor.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Yes, it is. But if you think this is something you should be taking your kids to see because it's a cartoon, no.
Well, Jason,
this is not a family movie.
Would you feel different? Well, I watched it when I was a kid. The cartoon is scary. And I watched it when I was a kid because I think what works is it's serious and sort of like you get the story, but then the concepts bleed into you later. I don't think it's terrible for kids to see it. It's just not necessarily built as a children's movie. Would encourage you to hear that Seth Rogen is playing the main pig guy.
the boss?
Yeah.
That basically goes power hungry and
kills other people. Yeah.
No. Yeah. Works the horse until it's basically crippled and then sends it to the glue factory. Yeah.
Tries to overthrow the farmer and everything. We'll watch a tiny clip of it here.
Uh-huh.
lucky, and I'll help you decide what's right. I'm proud of you, kid, of all of us, you know? I'm proud of what we have done.
It is pretty amazing. All of us working together.
Oh, yeah, sure. No, I get it. All animals are equal, very much so, you know? But, you know, all
It's talking about communism, by the way.
you know, cows gotta stick with
Yeah.
cows, chickens with chickens, and I guess what I'm saying is, ever since I saved you back in the rebellion, I feel like we have like a special bond, you know, almost like a father-son thing. Is that crazy?
No,
Do you feel that at all?
I feel the same way. I feel the same way too.
Yeah. Please remove yourself from this. We're trying to have a father-son moment. Thank you.
Sure thing, Dad.
No. Dad. You and I maybe a little bit more uncle-y or like a distant cousin. Very.
There was criticism that this joke was too jokey for Animal Farm.
Yeah. Yeah. That. Yeah. It seems like it's almost like they're trying to go comedy with Animal Farm here.
By the way, people die in Animal Farm. Well, you know.
Yeah. Like I said, this is not a family-friendly story.
Look forward to that. Everybody, do you know what we were missing? Ironheart.
No, no.
Silver's hyped. Remember when she used her intelligence to escape an elevator by punching it?
Also biting live wires. Yeah, that was
Biting
great.
live wires is really smart. Bwong. I'm so hyped for this. This is the movie. This is a TV series. It's going to change Marvel forever. Even though Thunderbolts was supposed to be the show that changed Marvel forever. But, you know, whatever. How come when, to really honor, apparently, a black person in this community is they have to have a graffiti mural to really honor somebody who's passed?
It's written into their bylaws.
By the way, he is a good director, and he did direct some of those movies, even though I have mixed feelings about them. He is not directing this. He's a producer. So I don't know why they're bringing up Coogler's name, but you know.
Well, they're it's name recognition. People are going to do exactly what you did. They're like, oh, this guy did some good stuff. That means this is going to be good.
Not necessarily. Han Solo has fallen quite far. Remember when they filmed Solo and they had to there he is. They were having problems with his acting and he had to take acting classes in the middle of filming. Remember that?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it was pretty embarrassing. This is literally this is giving us almost no information. Oh, look, a lesbian. This is giving us no information. It's mainly just
you can tell by her short hair.
Well, yeah, an unattractive clothing style. Oh, he's got tattoos. He's real super, you know. He's scary and tough or whatever. Yeah, these are just boom noises and hype trailer. Like, there's no story in this. 6-episode event. Yeah, I think tech character. I think magic.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Everybody, Iron Man's not special. We could just take that and just give it to another person. It doesn't mean anything. Silver, is your Iron Heart hyped?
Um, yes.
Eh, uh, oh, it's gross. It's gross and dumb.
Knockoff chick ruining Iron Man.
Gotta have the sassy chick.
Oh no, it's disgusting. Ew.
You know, it's really interesting to me that we've been talking about, stereotyping and, diversity and blah, blah, blah. And yet they still fall back on the same dumb cliches.
Yeah, you have to have hip hop.
They don't ever expand beyond it. And nobody notices this. Yeah.
It's like every white character
And
comes
nobody
out
seems to notice.
to Garth Brooks music or something. Yeah, Ironheart looks terrible, everybody. I don't know what I mean, this is an exciting analysis. She wasn't a good character in the comics, and that's why her comic was canceled. She's not a good character now. Apparently, behind the scenes, they're very aware that this show is not good. And they've just been. Apparently, there were efforts to cancel this. So, to give you an idea, this was filmed years ago. Let me see if I can find it. 2023. It was initially slated for release in 2023. Oh Lord!
Wow.
It was finished for 2 years.
If it was slated for release in 2023, then that means they probably were working on it in 2022 at least.
Primary filming wrapped by early November 2022.
Yep.
This is a 3-year-old show. Oh my gosh.
So
they were confident.
Why are they waiting? Yeah. Why were they waiting so long to release this to the public? That is not a good sign, people. Not a good sign.
It's really good. It's a really good show.
It's so good, we're not going to release it for 3 years after we finished it.
Gosh. Oh, you know it.
So basically, they had two options here. One, write it off and just throw it away and never let it see the light of day, like they did with the Batwoman movie. Or release it to die.
Batgirl, I think, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. That's some good trailers. Everybody hyped for Superman and the destruction of mankind.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I want to go back and re-emphasize something that you mentioned earlier. This movie will make or break the James Gunn DCEU.
It can, yeah.
If this movie flops, we probably won't get anything else.
Apparently, they're writing Wonder Woman.
Oh no.
Yeah.
We know how the last one went.
Yeah, Wonder Woman didn't do super well by the end. It's funny. DC's in massive amount of debt. They've had nothing but flops over and over again. They seem to lack the capacity to understand how to make a decent superhero movie. Of course, Marvel has also forgot how to make a decent superhero movie. And so now we're all sitting here going, well, Superman's your marquee. You have to be able to figure this out. It doesn't seem perfect. It seems like it's got problems. And DC can't afford to have a massive failure. If you recall, when
Nope.
Gunn announced all of the slate coming forward, it was ambitious. He had all these movies set forward. This and this and this was going to happen. He did Creature Commandos right out the gate, and it sucked. You know what you need to do? Make one good Superman movie. If you can do that, give me a good Batman movie. And if you can do that, give me a good Wonder Woman movie. And maybe, if you could do that, maybe a Flash. And then maybe another one. Like, stop trying to create this giant, like, lattice work of plan ahead and put it up on some massive board announcement when I know most of those are going to fall down by the wayside. Because you know what all of this hinders on? The back of a successful Superman movie. And that whole house of cards falls apart if Superman sucks balls.
Yep.
Your plan doesn't work. Just give me a good Superman movie. That's it. Nothing fancy, nothing silly or complicated. Just figure that out. If you do that, just do that. Good hell. How much money are you spending? Hundreds of millions of dollars. You can't buy a decent writer who understand. You can't bring in a comic book like writer. You can't get some guy who's been thinking about this for like 40 years. You got to bring in unproven people to participate in this stuff.
The guy that's been doing this for 40 years and knows how to turn out a good Superman story, he's too old.
His
he
ideas are the way of the
connect
past
with the young people of today.
Yeah, see, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yep.
Ugh.
The Distracted Gamer Podcast. Big steaming pile of news dump.
Hey everybody, I've got a massive turd and it's called the news. It's a news dump. Here we are once again.
Oh no, is it your birthday?
Oh no.
Oh gosh.
No, it's not my birthday. Lord Silver.
Phobia.
Well, first of all, that would mean I have a serious medical problem and I need to seek a doctor's assistance immediately. So the big thing everyone's talking about is How to Train Your Dragon is out. How to Train Your Dragon has come out. Are we all hyped on that? Like, is everybody? Does anyone here care about How to Train Your Dragon? Like, I realize it's a huge show that people grew up with, and it's a really big deal. I've heard people talk about it like it's the best animated movie of all. I don't think it's the best animated movie of all time. It's okay. I've seen it once, maybe twice. And the subsequent sequels once at least. I assume you were all hyped to see this movie.
The thing is no.
Okay.
The thing is especially with these live action remakes, if I really want to see this movie, it's already been made.
Yeah.
I can just go grab the movie I already have, pop it in the DVD player and watch it. I realize that a lot of what's going on right now is like people who watched it years ago when it was a cartoon, they're taking their kids to see it and stuff. Or the grandparents are taking their grandkids to see it, or whatever it happens to be. But for me, it's like, no, I was not ever hyped for this particular movie. And most of the live action remakes, I consider them to be superfluous to my needs. And like I said, if I want to actually watch one of these, I'll go get the original.
I've heard mixed. Well, honestly, overall, the reaction's been positive. People quite liked it, if not really liked it.
Yeah.
I've heard mixed responses by some, where it's basically really good and a shot-for-shot remake, but then it's like, why do we need this movie if we already have the other one? Because it's like the weird flaw of it's a shot-for-shot remake, so it honors it perfectly, but it also doesn't feel necessary when it's a shot-for-shot remake. Now, it does add like 30 minutes. There's been some feeling that the acting in it isn't very good. There's also some forced DI in it, but overall, it seems to be doing really well. And everybody seems to quite be happy with it. It's like the other one. It's good because it's like the other one. Also apparently he's just killing it at the box office.
They did change some stuff. I understand there are some changes, things. Not a lot. Yeah. But like I said, I don't need it. Don't want it. And yeah, but like I said, most of these live action remakes. Yeah.
Well, I guess we're curmudgeons, but essentially people seem to really like it, and it seems to be doing pretty well. And not unexpectedly, it's killing it in the box office, and I've got hiccups all of a sudden. In a shocking turn of events, between May 12th and May 18th, Andor is #1 in streaming.
Oh,
interesting.
Andor's really good. I really liked Andor. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, and Bluey is the other, like, kids watch it constantly. Shocking.
Yes. Bluey has its charms.
I mean, there were weeks where Disney Plus wouldn't even chart. Like, Acolyte wasn't even showing up. But Andor's doing really well. A show that is extremely expensive, and it's over now. And there's nothing you can do because they're not making any more seasons. They had to compact the story in season 2. And spoiler alert, in Rogue One, they all die. In another fun turn of events, leading into today, the exciting news of the day, one of the Acolyte's producers was shot during the LA riots. Apparently she was involved with the protests and blames the LAPD, not because people were throwing stuff and screaming in front of them.
Not because people were rioting. It's obviously the police's fault.
We have the cast for HBO's new Harry Potter series. Everybody seems mildly okay with most of the cast. The only thing people seem to want to talk about is Black Snape.
Black Snape, yep.
Hermione's but she's more permissible than Snape.
Not a ginger anymore.
Nope, she's not a ginger because gingers are erased. Little Mermaid. I would have laughed my head off if he was also black. Ron Weasley.
I guess actually they could really a ginger, but
they could make him black and give him red hair, and they'll be like, "What? He's a ginger. What do you want?"
Look, it's a Weasley.
It's a sign of his. If this was an anime, making him black with red hair, that would like give him main protagonist hair, and we can't have that.
Well, and he'd walk on screen, and there'd be hip hop for no reason.
Exactly.
John Lithgow broke the rules where you're not allowed to cast Americans, is now an American. He's probably going to be amazing as Albus Dumbledore. John Lithgow's a great actor. That's just, I mean, he's really good.
He is a good actor.
She looks like McGonagall. He does not look like Snape. There have actually been a bunch of rumors spread on the internet about this guy they fired him or this, and that. None of that's true. People just want it to be true. He's super going to be Snape. I mean, I know what you want.
Ugh.
I mean, Nick Frost is a good choice for Hagrid.
He's a good choice. He mostly got in trouble for basically having a shrug response to people being upset with J.K. Rowling. Like, no, you're supposed to be really angry. And he's like, this is fine. She wrote these books. I don't know what you want. This guy.
Really, Professor Quirrell?
This guy. This woman. Oh, it's IT.
Oh yeah, from the IT crowd.
Oh, good for her. That's a big role for her. Catherine Parkinson. Good for
She's
you.
An excellent
well, I can't
actress.
say she's a really good actress. She's been in one comedy I've seen. But I like her in IT crowd. So I'm happy she got a big role. He seems like a douche. I'm happy about that. I want to hit this child.
Douche plays douche.
Meh.
Look, douche father.
Papa douche. She fits the race of the one in the movie, so at least that no one was ever going to race swap this
I have
character.
no
So
clue
why
who
are-
that even is?
Yeah.
Whoever you are, isn't this his aunt? She's too hot
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his aunt.
and too young.
Yeah, she's not shrewish enough.
And also,
Yep.
here's his
Right.
uncle, who's also too hot and too young.
Yeah. Oh, who's Dudley? Please.
Oh, I don't know if we know that yet.
No Dudley.
Yeah, no Dudley yet.
Not yet announced.
I just want a black master of the dark arts, just to lean in. I'll show you the dark arts.
It gives a whole new meaning to.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
not gonna read
I'm
this.
wondering if some of the reason
Go ahead.
I'm wondering if some of the reason that they've departed from the book description for Snape is because of Alan Rickman himself. Alan Rickman was such a good actor.
What, they
and
can't
he
live
did-
up to it?
He did do a great job as Snape. Yeah. And so they're like, any actor we would have chosen for Snape, there would have been backlash against, and much more minor if they'd actually chosen someone who was more in line with the
So pick
the
a character
pale,
to get more
greasy-haired
backlash.
Snape. But they're like, yeah, we're gonna get, yeah.
You're being very generous.
I just don't see why they did it in the first place at all. It makes no sense. It makes no sense to cast a guy
DEI?
who actually is fairly good looking from the pictures. Right. But they didn't do it with anyone else. They just did it with him. They could have race swapped somebody else. They could have gender swapped characters. They could have done a whole bunch of stuff in the name of DEI, and they did it for one character. Why that one?
Because he's clearly not supposed to be black. He's one of the most described characters in the book, and he is not a black man.
I know.
He's supposed to look like a skeleton. Just creepy.
And in fact,
And
Alan
it makes
Rickman is
zero sense that
apparently
they would do that.
Alan Rickman's apparently too hot to play Snape.
That's another one. But at least he had more of the Snape look than this guy.
Agreed. Yeah, I don't care about Harry Potter. I just don't. I didn't read them as a kid. I didn't like them when, they were extremely popular. I thought the movies were all right. I don't have nostalgia for it. I don't have fuzzy feelings in my heart for Harry Potter. I don't care. I would kick that kid in the nuts if I lived in his world. I would also bully Harry Potter. He deserves it. He's kind of a little Weasley kid. Him and his stupid scar.
You show up, you just standing there next to Malfoy, and you're like, oh yeah, let's beat up this kid.
We'll take him out back. Make sure he doesn't cast magic again.
Who is that guy from the Hitchhiker's Guide to series that basically decided to go around to everyone in the universe and tell them that they were awful people and then just disappear? That's you. You go into movies, you say you're an awful person, and then you.
I'm all about ruining the experience for others. Anyway, let's move on really quick. Jason Schreier, the douchebag, wrote an article. The main reason why, we could go into this detail and roll our eyes at his comments. The main reason why I'm bringing this up is he was one of the shills that ran interference to claim that Dragon Age was doing really well on Twitter, citing the Steam numbers and everything, being like, get woke, go broke, implying that the game was actually doing really well. Well, has recently written an article trying to justify why the game didn't do well, and it had nothing to do with the fans didn't like it and everybody thought it was a bad game. It was more about how there was internal problems at BioWare, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, that was it.
Uh-huh. Anyway, I found it ironic.
Oh, still running interference for a terrible game.
Nintendo has delayed the Legend of Zelda movie.
I don't know how I feel about a Legend of Zelda movie. I mean, I watched the Legend of Zelda cartoon when it was on television years ago,
and it was terrible.
It was when I was a kid. I couldn't see that. I watched it because it was a Legend of Zelda cartoon and I was a kid. But yes, it is awful. And I have a lot of mixed feelings. It could be another Super Mario movie where they do a really good job and everybody loves it. Who knows?
Holds up the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. Regardless,
you used to watch that one too.
I hope it's animated and I hope it's good. Anyway,
I just want Link. Even if Chris Pratt plays Link, which would be hilarious, I hope the whole thing just
yeah!
Never a single word. Yeah.
Everybody but Link talks in the movie. That would be so
he just
funny.
Makes noises, like in the game, just
it would be super hilarious if they did that.
In response to people complaining that she goes off to college and leaves her sister with the neighbors, the director response about people complaining about the ending is that people get left behind sometimes.
Oh my gosh.
The whole point of the original movie was Ohana. Ohana means family. Family means no one gets left behind. That was the whole theme. The entire... They mentioned it so many freaking times.
Hey, Robert Eggers, who made The Witch, Nosferatu, and The Northmen, is going to do A Christmas Carol. So the guy who's made all of these very dark, serious, sometimes horror movies is going to make A Christmas Carol. Actually,
Well,
Willem
he couldn't get
Dafoe.
the creepy aspects of it nailed down.
Willem Dafoe as Scrooge is amazing. I can't believe
Is he
we've
gonna be
never got
Scrooge?
that. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is a...
Oh, it's beautiful.
Okay, I kind of want to see this now.
Yeah, I absolutely. Here's the thing: I've liked all of Robert Eggers' movies, so I'm down. I'm super down to clown for this one. I'm worried it's going to be really terrifying. But what can you do? Gears of War Reloaded is coming out. It is a PlayStation. It is a Microsoft mainstay. Microsoft owns the company. We need I guess this is now the third version of the original Gears of War. So they're trying to catch up to Last of Us. Here's the problem. The Microsoft Xbox exclusive that has been the exclusive for years is not getting a physical copy, but the PS5 will get a physical copy.
Oh my gosh.
Shifting forward, I am Jason. You might be very encouraged by this. Remember that we heard we were going to get a Clayface movie.
Okay.
Mike Flanagan has admitted that his Clayface script was inspired by the villain's portrayal in the animated series.
You can't go wrong. He did a Clayface.
This could be
was
really
awesome
good.
in the animated series. Yeah.
This could be really good. I'm encouraged. Hey, everybody, remember the Thunderbolts?
The reason why Thunderbolts flopped at the box office.
Yeah, it's
all
now
the
lost.
fans' fault.
It's now lost millions of dollars. Thunderbolts did not do well.
It couldn't possibly be because no one cares about the Thunderbolts. It couldn't possibly be that this is a B-list tier of superheroes from Marvel. Well, maybe even D-tier list of superheroes from Marvel that nobody cared about from the... It couldn't possibly be any of that stuff. It has to be the fans. It has to be our fault.
Well, and none of the characters were Thunderbolts. None of the original Thunderbolts are in this team. Apparently, according to the IGN,
I think
Nintendo Switch 2 is outselling the original Nintendo Switch by a 2-to-1 margin. It's selling really, really well.
nice.
Shifting on in the news. Some interesting news I found out on Nintendo Live. Capcom is so we're having this weird problem because legally you don't own your games. That way you can't copy them willy-nilly. You're just leasing it, which I don't.
Yep.
It's anti-consumer. I always hated this stuff when it came to multimedia, but whatever. Anyway, because some of the cartridges are basically count as like a DRM recognition that you own it, and then you pretty much download the game as entirety. And so the point is like, why do I even have the card?
Right.
Because of that, Capcom is now recording Switch 2 game key purchases as digital sales.
Okay. So you're buying a physical cartridge,
yeah,
but they're still counting it as digital sales because basically what's on the cartridge is basically your permission to play the game, not the game itself.
Correct.
A little bit.
Oh, goodness. By the way, stick drift has already started showing up in Joy-Con 2s. The problem that has plagued the original Switch Joy-Cons is already a problem in the Joy-Con Switch 2 controllers.
That's funny.
That's good news. I love the Switch. It's not a perfect piece of hardware. And for
Good
news
system.
that
I like it.
I
yeah,
didn't put
the
this on
fact that
here.
I've already replaced my Joy-Cons. Yeah. No, I did. I saw this article and I don't know. The thing is that according to the article, because of something that Trump did, let me, come on. So Trump came out with this thing where, basically it's like make America great again kind of thing. It's an executive order to restore truth and sanity to American history. That they want to take anything that appropriately urges American past or living and instead focuses on the greatness of the achievements and progress of the American people. And so they're putting up signs in the national parks for park goers to report on things that they feel portray American history in a negative light so that they can get them removed from the national parks.
No, I don't know about that.
I want America to be great again kind of thing, but this it's not good.
No, I agree. That's stupid.
And the fact
You know what you don't do when it comes to things that are negative, and because every country has a negative stuff in their history, every race, every people. You know what you don't do is you either don't pretend it never happened and look the other way, or you don't keep opening the wound so that it constantly is bleeding out and nobody heals from it or get over it. You talk about it in the context and the setting and the time period, but you don't blame people who weren't there, had nothing to do with it, and weren't even alive when most of this stuff happened. So, I like my country, but this is silly.
And the fact that the fact that they're like putting like QR codes and things in places so people can like scan them and report that it's just like, you do realize that whether or not this is objectively something good about America, somebody could find that negative and report it, and then what are you going to do?
I cry.
Yeah.
Well, something to think about. We're running a bit long. Ross isn't here, and it's usually fun to have him for fight night. And I really have to pee, so we are going to hold this until next week.
Sounds good.
That being said, things to let's run back to the ship proper. Anything to end us with before we get out of here? Thoughts, Silver? You've, as always, been quiet and only here because we need to check a box. What are your thoughts on tonight's proceedings, or anything in general?
I'm scared for the Superman movie. I'm very scared.
Yeah.
I have hesitancy about how the actor is going to play Superman, really. I don't know if he's going to execute
from what
correctly.
From what we've seen, it looks like he's playing him as a joke character, which is not good.
Yeah, so I don't have hope.
You heard it here first. Silver lacks hope.
Superman, the embodiment of hope. And we all lack it.
Well, the end of the world is next month anyway. The end of the world, and it's Superman's fault. Well, sweet. I have enjoyed this podcast as always. Hopefully, Ross will make it back from his protests unscathed and unshot, unlike a producer for The Acolyte. But it has been a special time, especially since Silver is here. Hey, it gets a little more special, one extra special. Jason, thoughts really quick?
Thanks.
Just enjoy your summer.
Enjoy your summer. Don't get in
Got some good
fights
weather
and
out there.
riots.
Just ridiculously hot where we are, but enjoy your summer.
Enjoy
Yeah.
your summer.
Steer clear of the fights and riots.
Advice from the DG podcast. Let's get out of here. Goodbye.
If you like the show, follow Rhett, Jason, Ross, and Silver, the world's most lethally stupid internet personalities, on Twitter at DG Podcast or on Instagram at Distracted Gamers. If you liked or hated what you heard here today, you can email them at thedistractedgamers@gmail.com and share your feelings. Not that Jason would care, since he hasn't any, of course.
Oh my God.